Hey card fighters, Peter from Cardfight Redemption here, and we got a brand new video for you guys. So if you guys were following my last page from Cardfight Vanguard ATX, we were doing a lot of player profiles, and we still are doing player profiles the exact same way. This one is a little bit different though, because we do have a special guest with us. I wanted to give them a proper introduction, but with that being said, can you please introduce yourself and tell us what team you're on?
Yeah, my name is Jaime Alvarez, but I'm also known as Commander Jaime. And so for me, I'm not any official team, but I do have Team Armada as more of a banner for the Metaphy students. So if they want to have a camaraderie behind them going to regionals, they're more than welcome to use that, essentially. Probably since like 2014. So I would say 10 plus years. And I did take a break between 2018 to 2020. But other than that, I've been full force for like all the formats, premium, V premium, standard now. So yeah, long time. So for me, I was in college still finishing up my senior year for engineering, and I just was really focused on finishing and finding a job. And I was also playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitive at the time. And with that being in mind, I could only do so much, right? So my friends had kind of nagged me for a little bit, but in a good way. They're like, hey, you need to try out this game. And they did it lovingly and gave me the patience that finally, once I graduated and found a job in the summer, I finally gave it a shot. And my friends actually gave me a new Batama deck that had just been completed with enough cards back in BT13 time. And back then, not all clans had enough cards to actually make a deck. You would have to mix and match with different clans. Like, that was a thing back then. But it was a full-blown new Batama deck with the break ride, and I think it was the easiest transition for me as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, because there's like this card, some control aspect to it. Like, it was just pretty straightforward to pick up. And ever since that one night that they taught me how to play the game, it just stuck with me. And from that, basically tried different clans: Genesis, Aquaforce, Grand Blue, and many on. So that's basically the beginning of my story.
I got you. So you're saying that that new Batama deck is pretty much like the first deck that you started off the game with, or was there something before that?
No, that was it. That was the first one.
I got you.
So I would say too, like, if the creator side, if you don't mind me adding to this, because I'm also a creator, and I feel like other people might want to do more content creation, especially with the content creator program now with Bushiroad moving forward. For me, 2016 that I really made my first video, and it was a deck profile, and for the longest time I procrastinated, and I think it was just a feeling of not feeling worthy enough. And after that year basically was my first couple tops in Yu-Gi-Oh! And in Vanguard, and I just got to a point where, like, just make the video, dude, you know. And ever since then, I just been making content, and back full force since 2021 or 2020 when COVID happened, and essentially just been consistent ever since then as well. So this is a tough one. So for me, if I were to sum it up, it's 4 favorite clans. New Batama and Genesis, because they're like humble beginnings. I do like the ninja aesthetic. I do like the mythology behind Genesis. But the other 2 are Aquaforce, obviously from the head and the channel and everything. And the other one would be Grand Blue. And so I like their multi-attack aspect. Aquaforce has the naval Aquaroid futuristic with dragons aesthetic too. I like that. And then also with Grand Blue has the resurrection type mechanic. So with Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually play like zombies, and I feel like resurrection mechanics are just very powerful mechanics in general. So it just felt natural playing that too. So those are those are my favorite clans per se. And I think every so often I basically rotate between them. And at one point, one clan or one deck is probably a contender in the meta as well. So I've been very fortunate with that.
Did you talk about your favorite nation yet?
No, it was more of the clan system. But if I were to pick a nation now in standard, that's tough. I tend to still go back to Stoicheia in the occasional like Brant Gate with Seraph, and then Minerva with Keter Sanctuary, and then Sure, Nui being retrained in Dragon Empire, but I think Stelkea is really the anchor. And I typically play like Argo Siren, Maelstrom, Flagbird, Zorga, Magnolia over the years, like those decks over time, essentially. For V Premium, it would be Thavas and Night Rose. They're pretty straightforward 5 to 6 attack deck, depending how you play that out. I think it's 5 attacks. I can't remember since it's been a while, but definitely Thavas, and then the occasional Night Rose, the aggressive one where you could just mill a bunch of cards and start swinging heavy with Skull Dragons. For standard, right now it's definitely Minerva. I just took it to Rosemont. I did pretty well in my eyes. I didn't top, but I really had a great time with the deck. I also played Minerva back in BT 14 days. That was actually my first competitive deck too, so it was very nostalgic to just try playing that again. And then for premium, it would be between Musketeers and Aquaforce right now. So Musketeers is kind of effective with the Katrina hit months ago, but it's not like it's not dead, right? So you can do a bunch of other things with Musketeers. And I just like the combo indefiniteness of the deck. And also with Aquaforce, it's just a lot of the aggro style that I do like with the clan. And I can take advantage of that with Riptide. And Riptide is just a funny like beater for Aquaforce that just all of a sudden it's like 32k plus. Swing. And you try to restand that guy as much as you can. So I enjoy those types of decks. So yeah. Ooh, that's a good one too. So I respect a lot of the traits and some of the character development that I saw with the original series and even some in G-Era. But if I were to pick one, I think the character that stood out to me the most was Masaki. So she's the one that plays originally OTT but switches to Genesis. And she's cool, calm, and collected. She's very smart too. And every time she came on an episode, you could just tell people could depend on her. So like, for example, like the Link Joker art, there was people that lost and became reversed. But she had an episode where she won her fight, so she never was reversed essentially. So, but she had some character development too. But she just was cool, calm, and collected. Very smart player, and was a vital team player for the good guys for that show too. So I've played all of them to an extent, especially in other TCGs too. So I do enjoy the playstyle depending on the deck that I'm playing, right? So, but if I were to look at Vanguard, and what I tend to lean the most with is mostly aggro with some type of control behind it too. I like decks that can start playing as soon as possible in the early game, start dropping cards, start doing something. Don't give up the pressure and don't lose the tempo. And then also just like even later on when multi-attacks can scale for certain decks too. I just like the sequencing of multi-attacks that comes into it. And that's usually like with decks like Aquaforce, and funny enough, lately Shiranui and Minerva now do like 5, 6, 7 attacks. So yeah, I tend to lean to that playstyle. So this one it's not necessarily that I've couldn't master, but it's a fun casual deck for premium. And this deck, I actually reached out to Harf, who's famous for being a Spikes player. He has his own channel, Crushing the Metal too. And I reached out to him early last year for his control style Spike Brothers build with Rising. So that is a fun deck that I've had for a year and a half now at this point, but it's more for casual fun. So I still make mistakes. I still lose games that I probably should have won. But it's fun being able to try to control the board state to the point where you can actually do the GBA turn and just keep hitting hard, essentially. So I think it's a good rush once you hit that goal. So that's the deck that I haven't been able to fully master if I were to take it to like a regional, right? So I like both. The thing that I try to focus in any setting is, can I play to the best of my ability and also just have fun along the journey too. I feel like you can play casual with friends but still play like to your best though. And even in the competitive scene, you're looking to try to increase your chances of topping at the event. So it's not always necessarily about winning and losing with friends and at locals or something, but like for that it would be like just prepping too. So I like both, and there are times where I'll let my friends know, like, hey, the intention of tonight is prep for a tournament, so let's focus on that. And more than likely, it'll be like matchups that we expect, right? Or if the intention for that night would be, hey, let's just play casual. I have some fun decks. I have some jank decks that I just put together. Um, Probably not good. It might just brick. Who knows? But I did put in the effort for each game essentially, and I really feel fulfilled or filled up just being able to play a good game of Vanguard. So that's how I view things. Like at regionals, for example, and other events that I feel are pretty big in our eyes, right? um, Early on, even to an extent more recently, would be like King Serpent for Grand Blue. I've been using that card since like G era. That card is just good for the clan because it gives you a counter charge, it gives you soul, it gives you pieces into the soul, and then you can really just do stuff. And you can abuse that card so many times in a single turn, and you can get multiple attacks with it too, thanks to it. And a more recent example in Standard would be Battle Sister Coco, specifically in the Minerva deck. And that card should really be a Genesis card. And the reason I say that is because it fuels the soul with two cards, one from hand and one from the top of the deck. And it also lets you stack potential triggers. And that card, especially at Rosemont this past month, it carried me with stacking crits, with front triggers, with OTs. I think I got the OT twice in that like Swiss rounds. MVP card. It definitely felt like it helped with my run. So this is for the love for Maelstrom, the love for Flagberg and Stokea in standard format. With Maelstrom would be more like, can we just get a simple grade 1 or grade 2 order? So it just speeds the pace for the deck. I feel like because it's stuck to grade 3 orders, it's a turn slow compared to the metagame. So that would help kind of keep up essentially. So that's like the more conservative, like, hey, design. The more like ambitious one would be Flagberg. Like it's time for a retrain. It's been years. Honestly, it felt like this was supposed to be the essence of Maelstrom, and then all of a sudden they did Maelstrom and Glory Maelstrom anyways, and so this guy like dropped, to the streets or something, abandoned essentially. And I'm hoping, especially now that they revealed the Phantom cards, that if they do retrain Flagberg, that it stays in Stokea and doesn't go to a different clan. So that'll be pretty salty for the Flagberg players in that regard too. So a proper retrain that could actually keep up with today's metagame and actually be able to be a fun deck to play still with the aesthetic that it tries to have still. So yeah. There's multiple good memories that I have, but I think one of the more pivotal ones that, remember I mentioned that I stepped away from the game from like 2018 to like 2020 time, was when I came back. And there's two parts to this memory. So the first part is like, I want to play Vanguard again, and I want to play in a tournament scene, but obviously COVID stopped in-person events for a while. So they did the very first BRO essentially, and they did it the different continents like North America and so on, right? So I did the American one, and I technically haven't played in an official event for like 2 to 3 years because it wasn't until like I think 2021 when they actually hosted that event. And so I prepped a lot, especially with some close friends that were able to be good practice buddies. And I did extremely well in my eyes. I went 7, I think I went X1 in Swiss, and I went all the way to the finals, and I got second place overall, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. Like I haven't played the game in years, right? Um, and that was cool because if like I've taught before, and it's like riding a bike, you never forget, right? And then the second part to that memory was after the fact, or even during the event. I was featured on 3 times at least. I didn't realize how many people were rooting for me and that know of me. And the reason I say that is because I think I was at 300 subs when I was coming back. So I hadn't built a bigger following just yet. And after the event, people heard about it, and I got so many DMs. I got so many messages and Discords that I was in, just congratulating and also just excited for me to come back. And because of that, that welcoming, besides the performance, it just ignited my passion to even just go full force with content creation too, as well. So it's something that I felt like has helped me stay consistent these 5+ years now, essentially. So that's like the one that's pivotal, I would say. So this is a meme kind of story. It's a story that kind of got turned into a meme. So it was a couple years at BCS Rosemont. I was facing Ty Smith in the finals, and he was doing a top 5 search. I think it was the top 5 searcher, the gray one, Mighty Bolt. I think that's his name. And he revealed the grade 3 that he was going to add to his hand. And so then I was like, let me read that real quick. And he even said he's like, dude, dang it, I knew you were going to read the card. And I was so tempted not to search for it, but I needed to search for it. And I'm like, okay, what do you got going on here, right? And literally, as I was grabbing the card and I'm just reading it, I already heard people that were spectators that were already kind of like talking, laughing, or like giggling, and like, oh, he's reading the card. And I'm like, okay, I can hear that, you know? And I'm just like, wait, what am I getting myself into in a bit, right? And it's Armor Break Dragon. And I'm playing Ripples with the full-blown support, so it's broken, right? And with that card against Ripples, yeah, I could just die, essentially, when that pops off. And so it was a hilarious moment because somebody also took a picture. I think it was a close friend of mine. And later, Ty Smith put basically a caption on it. It's like, oh, fuck, you know? So now that has become a meme, essentially, that I see from time to time used, which is pretty hilarious. It's pretty wholesome, you know, and it was a great game, too. It's a fun memory, too. I remember we both won our top 4 game, and then we went up to each other, and it was just like, dude, we're both qualified. Let's just have the best man win and have a good time. So it was literally playing in the finals with one of your friends. So it was pretty wholesome moment on top of that, besides being the meme moment. But yeah, so a great time. So I like to break this up into 2 parts, one as a player, one as a creator. So for the player side of thing, I think the biggest thing is just being able to progress as a player. When I started playing, like I just was playing for fun, and eventually started getting better at the game, to the point where I started topping in 2016 and have been consistent since then, like every year basically, with the exception of me having a break. And for me, I like progress, and I think that's valuable. That's something that you can control as a player. So not every event that you go to, you're not going to top at every event. There are other factors that can happen, and it's outside of your control sometimes. But as long as you learn from it, then it's okay. It's going to be fine, right? So that mindset, I think, it's kind of like a growth mindset, and I really love that I've been able to achieve some type of success in that area, essentially. And because of it, along that journey, like I'm willing to help out a lot of players with my own experiences and my own perspectives if they want to hear it. And I've seen other players improve their gameplay. I've coached people in person, via messages, via calls, whatever. And I've seen them grow as players, and even some of them have topped, some of them have qualified for Worlds for the first time, some of them have re-qualified for Worlds, and it's a very good feeling just to see that you're able to positively impact another player and you were part of it. you know. So to me, that is like a big achievement, just overall. And as a creator, it kind of falls into that too, because I have this TCG passion that I'm just really excited to share with others. So that's why I make videos about deck profiles. I love getting into the details, the nitty gritty with the combos and the cards. I think that's super helpful, especially if you're going to spend time on a video. Like what does this guy got to say? You know, what do they have, or what do they know that I don't know? You know, that type of deal. And for me, it's really cool that that passion has in turn helped players just pick up a different clan that they may have not had interest in, or were kind of scared. And the reason I say scared is because I've had this with premium players that they look at Genesis and they look at Grand Blue especially, and they feel like they legit don't know where to start with those clans if they were trying to pick them up. And it's really impactful once I learn people have picked up those clans and they're enjoying them. It could be for fun with friends. It could be for events. It could be whatever. And a quick story. It was last year. It was pretty funny too, but really, really impactful. I was at one of the events for Robbie's events last year for Premium, and just made it into top 8. So this is like the first round with top 8. My opponent, he took the time to just like, hey, I just want to say that I'm a big fan of yours. And I've also watched your Grand Blue videos, and it's the reason that I played Night Rose today. So thank you. I'm like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Well, thank you. And with that expectation, then we're going to have a really good game then. And so it just created this atmosphere of like excitement and laughter. Very good game. Very well played. He got it. And he's like, that was a great game. It was a pleasure. Thank you again. And I'm like, great. This is awesome. If it was anybody to beat me, I'm glad it was you. Right, especially after what you told me. But here's one thing I'm going to ask you for. You're going to have to win the entire event now. Because you beat me. And he was like, kind of like laughing at the same time. He's just like, oh, I don't know if I can win the whole thing, but I'll try, you know. And then literally proceeds to win the entire event after that. So it's a very cool success story that was funny, very wholesome. And, you know, if you look at sometimes players get frustrated when they get into top cut and then they get kicked out on the first round, which I get. But I'm glad I got kicked out in the first round by the guy that won the whole thing, you know, especially after that comment that he gave me too. So overall, with both as a player and as a content creator, the biggest achievement, the common through line, is just being able to have positive impact to other players with the value that I provide to the community in my own way, in my own passion. So yeah. So I went to Rosemont. I didn't do as hot, so I didn't qualify this time. I may try out one more event next year, closer to the spring, essentially, but I still have to figure things out on my end. But at the end of the day, for me, in my season of life, it's being able to have fun and be able to participate at events when I can. So it's not like I need to readjust my schedule to go to all these events in a season, right? But I look forward to that. And if not, then there's always BSF or some other events, who knows, that Bushiro might do. I'm hoping that Bushiro can actually just work with content creators more consistently for consistent live coverage too. That would be really good, actually. So yeah. So those are my plans, really. So like I mentioned, with my pivotal memory, I felt welcomed. And as a returning player, I think that is so important because there is value in that. And I've seen players leave the game, come back, and sometimes they leave the game again and then come back again. One more time, 2 times. It doesn't matter. But being welcoming at events or even Discords, just being willing to chat about decks, like what's current, can you point me in the right direction? What content creators should I follow? And at the in-person events, I've always had fun too. I've gotten so many opportunities just to meet new players, and oftentimes I end up with more friends after each event, and they could be people that come up to me or people that I actually play against one-on-one. And I found like that's very fun when you have an opponent and you actually don't know each other at first, but after a good game of Vanguard, all of a sudden, like, you're pretty much good friends after that and stay in touch somehow. I think that's really cool, you know. So, kind of piggyback into my prior answer, it would be the biggest thing overall for Vanguard as a TCG, especially when you view Pokemon, Konami, and Yu-Gi-Oh, and so on, is just having more consistent live coverage. I feel like with the events that we have, Bushiroad should be able to work in tandem with content creators, and they can use their Cardfight English channel as the platform for those live coverages, and then just have those content creators that are either local or they fly in, doesn't matter, but be able to commentate and be able to even like maybe interview players after a feature match. It feels much more natural too, instead of having the individual creators just kind of do their own thing and vlogging and stuff like that. Sometimes it's not as smooth, right? And I feel like that shows more even to players in general that Bushiroad is more committed to the community within mind. Essentially, is that hey, they're working with creators in the community, so it makes it more like hey, they're working together rather than they're separately, essentially too. So I think that'd be the biggest thing for just the overall game, essentially. I mean, you can follow me on my socials. YouTube is my main channel. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky. I'll give you the socials after that. And then shout outs. Really, I have a lot of good friends, but I just want to give shout outs to everybody that actually goes to the BCS events. Not only that you go to the events, but you also bring positive vibes. That is impactful for the game to stay relevant, and also people can have fun and make memories too. I feel with the state of anger that I've had prior discussions with even other content creators, we may have been going through a rough patch lately, but I'm expecting that we're going up at this point, and let's all actually work together and do our part in that sense. So yeah, those are the shout outs. I always like when you compare it to like other games like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Magic, Vanguard is different, but fun and easy to pick up. I feel like if you had play a different TCG, you should be able to play Vanguard pretty quickly and get the basics, and then just immediately have fun. So that would be the one sentence overall.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having this little chill out area, little chit chat time with me. I really do appreciate it. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. And again, to the audience, make sure you like and subscribe his channel. This is Cardfight Redemption. This is his new channel. So thanks, Pete. Personally, I see this as value for other players in the community, especially if you don't have a social following. This could be your opportunity to have your own player profile. So I hope this was helpful as a template type of video for y'all. And again, I love to see Pete be able to interview many, many, many more players. So